This morning I'm waking up pretty darn early because I'm going to go see the amazing Greg Justus in Toledo, Ohio. Pick up a painting. Then I'm going to interview him about his artwork, about what he likes to do. It's going to be a great time. Stay tuned. I dig it. Yeah, I'm on my way today, as I told you earlier this morning, to the amazing Greg Justus Gallery House Studio. It's going to be pretty cool. Going to hang out today. I'm here. It's awesome. Wait till you see his stuff. It's pretty damn amazing. Alright, let's go. There he is. There he is. Yeah, Greg Justus. The most amazing artist I know.
Most amazing artist and videographer.
Look at this guy. We're gonna go check out a studio. Gonna have a good time. Go in and check it out. Come on. Don't be shy. Come on.
Welcome to my art studio. This is where I love making a huge mess and just kind of, I love just throwing the paint down. If you look, I do some artwork on here, but what I love all these remnants of paintings all over the wall. And because I'm a messy painter, if I do things like if I spill paint on the floor, it's just my garage, so I don't really have to stress out about the paint that I made a mess with. So it really gives you a lot of freedom to be able to splatter, pour, whatever you want, and not get in trouble for ruining any of your property. So it's really kind of liberating and lets you have a lot of creative freedom.
How did you get into art?
I've been doing art ever since I can remember. One of my favorite stories to tell is growing up, I did all these hand-drawn, I had all these drawings, and I decided to go door to door and try and sell them in my neighborhood. Now mind you, this is back in, I may be dating myself, but this is back in the day where you didn't have to worry about going door to door and end up in somebody's basement because they did something crazy. So I had all these drawings and I went and I sold them. I think my neighbor bought a lot of them. And I even remember this older woman in a moo-moo outfit. I remember asking her if she wanted to buy one of my drawings. And I remember her saying something about hating kids and slamming the screen door right in front of my face. So that was my first taste in art rejection. But then the money I did make from selling art, I couldn't even count the change. So what I did is I took the change and I went back and I couldn't even count change. I thought quarters and nickels and dimes. I thought they were all 1 cent. So I had all this change in my bed. I thought I made 10 cents and it was probably $2.05 or something. But I knew I was going to get a richer mark right from the get-go when I had that change.
Why Impressionism?
The two movements I'm most influenced by, I love Impressionism just because I love the on-the-spot color. The colors when you look at Impressionism are just so rich and vibrant. When I go to the Toledo Museum of Art a lot, and I always go and visit my Van Goghs, we spend quality time together. But colors are always so clean and vibrant, it just really gets me charged up. I also very much into abstract expressionism. So when you look at a lot of my paintings, a lot of times you're seeing the paint itself and the color, but then you really are kind of focusing on the medium that you're using, which the abstract expressionism, that's what they want to do, is make paint the subject matter. So
what kind of advice would you give to someone that really wants to get in this art field, and wants to be the next greatest artist in the world? I think yourself,
Oh, well, of course, me, I would say it's just almost anything you're getting into. With art, I think you just can't get hung up on making your masterpiece. Each piece that you're doing, it's a new piece. It's like a part of you. So don't be afraid to mess up. What I like to do is I just like to keep just throwing the paint down. Sometimes the paintings come out great, and sometimes you just want to shove them under your bed because you don't want any of the relatives to see if they're coming over. So you just kind of got to go for it. Don't box yourself in. Don't be afraid to do things. If you're I wonder what it would look like if I took this plastic fork and scraped into the paint. Well, don't wonder, just do it. Painting is all about a dance. It's a lot of fun. you just gotta experiment, be afraid to look outside the lines, and just try things. Don't be afraid to try things. Don't be afraid that it's gonna turn out ugly, because there's plenty more canvas in the world. You just take what you learned from that painting, start a new dance with another canvas. That's all you do.
So what do you feel about pricing your artwork? Do you give artwork away? I mean, I'm sure you have a lot of friends that probably ask for your work because it's so awesome.
Well, of course.
Yeah, what do you think about it? What are your feelings on that?
What I like to do is I like to ask for $1 million a painting, but then I offer a 50% off Groupon, because then I still make $500,000 from the painting. So it works out good. But really, when it comes to pricing, it really depends on your market. Like, I'm in the Toledo Ohio market, so like maybe a painting that I could get $300 for, in another market you may be able to get $3,000 for. But there's tons of formulas out there. You could do it by the square inch, you could do it by the hour. I mean, you just have to figure out what's going to work for you and your market the best. And then as far as like free art, one thing you'll find as an artist, you'll get hit up by tons of nonprofits and fundraisers like, hey, can you donate a painting, which is fine to do, but I would say just make sure you care about the cause that you're going to give. That's it. And don't feel like you have to say yes to everything. A lot of times I'll do like a lot of like lower end prints to give them, so you're supporting their cause, but you're not losing your inventory, because the reality is this isn't just a painting. This is my electric bill right there. So you just have to give away art to different fundraisers you believe in. I've given a lot of my art away free to like friends and family. Like if they're just buying a house and are all excited about, their new house, it's like nice. You have this unique gift that you can give as like a welcome to your new home kind of things. And one of the best things is when you have a lot of art is when you're invited to like a birthday party or something and you're like, holy crap, I didn't go to Walmart to get a present yet. You can really just grab something off the shelf and you have an instant present. So that works out really good too. But I would say if you feel moved to give someone a piece of art, a part of you, I mean, you just do it. It's just art, Life is too short. Share a little. I was very excited because I have a special guest who came all the way from Munich, Germany to pick up one of my pieces of artwork. Casper, who also does like a lot of video type things, who is actually in my studio now, filming me. Imagine that.
That would be me.
And he's picking up this piece that I did. And first of all, as an artist, it's always very much an honor when you have an artist picking up an artist piece. So this is one I very much like Native American and primitive art type things, but I had some influences but I was really trying to create a lot of movement and different things like that. When you look, I really like this whole kind of circular movement. And again, I was just playing with the paint, creating some kind of abstract images with the bright colors. But when I paint, what I really love are these color combinations. You have the blues and greens, blues and orange. I know my colors, really. The blues and oranges and the complementary things. So I was very honored when Casper was interested in buying it. And now I could actually say that I have a piece that went all the way over to Germany.
So we're living in a pandemic right now. So what have you been doing to get by? I mean, since the art shows are probably not happening so much as they used to be, what have you been looking into?
Well, last year, what was interesting is I thought with COVID happening, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm in deep trouble. But it was kind of like the opposite. People were at home, they were able to look more. And actually, I already did pretty good selling my own work, but when COVID hit, people were spending more time looking to decorate their home, spending more time looking at different artists. So actually my revenue almost doubled than when we didn't have COVID. Not that I want COVID to continue, but I'd be lying if I didn't say it's helped with my art sales a lot, because people actually got to slow down for a little bit and look into other things that they enjoy. And it's been very beneficial to my art career and getting pieces out there in people's homes. So it's been a good thing for me.
So nowadays, a lot of artists, like I even do it myself, in Germany, like dabble in the print market,
Yep.
Well, what are your feelings about that? Do you dabble in the print market? Do you do prints?
I really just started dabbling into the print market. There's a huge demand for it, so you're kind of foolish not to get into it. So I've been kind of trying to work with some different printers to find out what's going to give you the highest quality for the most affordable price, because you want to be able to make it affordable. The benefit of a print is making it affordable for somebody to buy. So I just started getting into it. It's really been really interesting and gives you a lot of opportunity to expand your market and get people who are interested in your work to buy into it. So one of the things I try and do with the prints, one of the benefits is if you look, I love kind of mixing things up. So when you look at the painting itself, I have the frame and I paint like right on the frame. So obviously that creates a real uniqueness to it. With prints, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make some limited edition type things, or you have the print of the painting, but I could add paint or different things to create a uniqueness about it. So you're not just buying just a straight out print, there's also some originality, so you'll have your own unique print, and it'll still be very affordable that way. It's a little more when I have to add a little extra, but it's nothing crazy, and it'll give it an original piece of Greg Justus artwork. Like after about 1 or 2 years of painting with a broiler pan as my palette, what I do is I take a knife and I cut around the edges, and then I remove the paint out of the broiler pan. So with it being acrylic paint, it pops right out, and you can see all these wonderful colors. Now, basically what I'll do a lot of times is I'll turn it into like a landscape, and I call it a recycled painting. And I just haven't had a chance to do anything with this yet, but I love looking. It's almost like a tree. When you're looking at the rings, you can just see all these, or it's very geo, with all the different layers of color and different things like that, which I find really, really kind of just fun. And then to paint, weighs a couple pounds, so when people hold it, they're always like shocked how much a bunch of piles of paint can weigh, and they get all excited about it. So it's fun. So I appreciate you coming out here to check out my studio, Casper, and as a fellow artist, it's been a real honor. But two things, first of all, we're almost out of coffee, so we need to go get more. And another thing is as an artist, you're not just doing one space. There's art everywhere, and if you go in my house, which let's go take a look, I call it the Justus Art Gallery because I have art hanging up everywhere. So grab your coffee cup, we need to refill that baby, and let's take a little tour of the Justus Mansion. Let's go. We're just going to give you a quick tour of the Justus Mansion. It's huge and overwhelming, but come on in, you can take a look. We have aluminum on our doors. We spare no expense here at our Justus Mansion. So come on in, you can see all the other very high-end stuff that we have here. So of course with any family you have the height chart. So you can look back and see, remember when your kids were little, and it's kind of funny because the door is so beat up and old because this house is from 1954. You really want to take the door down, but there's all these memories in there. So you almost feel like you have this weird parental guilt about taking down when, Junior was so tall. Even though they're taller now and it doesn't really matter, you still have this parental guilt. Makes no sense. So this was a 4-foot by 4-foot oil painting that I did. And really what I was trying to do is I really like to take and lay the color down. I really look for what I call like nuggets of color interaction. Like, you have obviously like the blue against the orange, and it's all about the color and creating movement in there. So, when I was doing this, I'm really pretty obsessed with trees like a lot of people. I think trees just seem to have like such a worldly knowledge, and they're just interesting in the shapes and forms and that they create. So I really was just trying to throw down the oil paint in a way that would be interesting color-wise, and then I really like going back in and taking a scraper, scraping back into the paint to try and create some lines and just create a hidden image, because a lot of times people will see the tree, but they may not know all of a sudden secondarily they'll look and they'll say, oh look, there's snakes in there too. So I like to put images so you don't see it first, but maybe after looking at it a couple of minutes or like a second or third time, then those things kind of pop out to you. So this is a painting that my wife said I'm not allowed to sell. So it's her painting, and you got to keep the wife happy. It's a rule. So this painting my wife had asked me to paint, and I did it, and it was hanging up normally for a long time, but I wanted to hang it upside down on the wall just really to see how long it would take her to notice. And that was about 2 months ago, and you can see it's still hanging upside down. So I don't know, but I probably should hang it right side up. But I really like doing a lot of like ocean and beach scenes. I think a lot of people feel very connected to water, and I've done, there's just a real tranquility about doing paintings like that. Plus, again, you have beautiful color, you can create a lot of movement, and there's a lot of things that kind of lend themselves into what I like to paint. So this is my indoor studio. So in the winter it gets a little cold, I can't be in the outdoor and the paint freezes, so I do a lot of work in here. As you can see, I'm highly organized, being the type B personality that I am. But my indoor studio, with it being cold in the winter, I don't like to be cold. So I come in here, I at least have a space to paint. But it gets to be a huge mess, especially in the winter. You're doing a lot of commissions around the holidays, so it looks like an atomic bomb full of paint went off in this room normally. But I think one of the challenges when you're an artist, and I think many can relate, is you have to find a balance between painting your own work, what you love and what you can play with, and what you're doing for commissions. What people want you, they appreciate what you do, and they want you to do a painting for them. So even when you look at my easel here, I have work that I'm doing that I love, and then I have a couple commissions that I'm working on of, that's going to be 2 dogs. This is actually going to be a lizard that somebody's asked me to paint. So I appreciate when people have me do work for them. And then one of my favorite things, people always see the videos of like the art easels, and it always looks very substantial and dramatic. I like just using pegboard, because I like to usually work on about 2 to 4 pieces at the same time. So then all I have to do is put screws in. And you can see even taking this down, I just have screws all over, and then I could easily work on multiple pieces at the same time by just repositioning the screws in the board. Plus, I think it's
That's
kind
your
of
pro
fun.
tip, right?
Yes. Yes, and actually I love seeing all the color from previous paintings just all kind of splattered on there. So I'm definitely a messy painter, but I wouldn't have it any other way. Nothing makes me happier than when I go to bed and I look at my hands and it's covered in paint. It's not good for the sheets or pillowcases, but as long as I'm happy, that's fine.